Latoya. What's my last name today? No.
Shaw or something. Shaw.
Shaw.
Latoya Shaw.
Millionaire.
Millionaire.
Director of Organizing and Partnership at Wisconsin Voices.
Or go real Wisconsin with a Kazipski or something like that. Ski
Right.
or in it or something like
What
that.
y'all talking about? Weird
My
last
last
names?
Weird
name.
last
My
names.
last name today.
What is it?
You said
Schmidt.
Shaw.
What
You said
y'all
Shaw.
say? Shaw. Yeah, Shaw.
Latoya Shaw.
Shaw Milner.
I thought
Shaw
y'all
Shaw
Milner.
Milner.
Shaw Milner. There he came with the
Yeah,
million.
Shaw Milner.
I thought you were trying to talk about last names.
No, Latoya Shaw Milner.
Keon, why you looking at me like that? Because I have a very ethnic African American last name.
Ha.
You
Vukovic.
I heard that in the club before.
That's what I'm
Let me ask
saying.
her something. I always wanted to ask you this. When you see people, do they look at you weird when they see you?
I'm gonna tell you a story about. I got a ticket in Wauwatosa, and I will never forget this. I got a ticket in Wauwatosa. It was just like a speeding ticket or whatever. But you know how when you go into court for these tickets, especially when you're in the suburbs, for some reason the black people sit on one side and the white people sit on the other side. So they were they
say
just
that
do
so.
it. It's just I don't know why it is. They just do it. Well, they started from the bottom of the alphabet this time. They started with Z, usually they start with A. So they're going through and they say Vukovic. And everybody kind of look, you know how you look to see who's gonna get up. Everybody was looking at the white side, and I'm sitting on the black. So I get up, and I remember this judge like cocking his head, looking at me, and I'm like sitting there half smiling, like walking up there. They said Tamika Vukovic. I said, yes, that's me. How did you get that name? I said, well, my husband, I got me. Why didn't you hyphenate it? I said, honestly, I'll tell you, when I got ready to hyphenate and you sign your license, I went to Mika, Chantel, Gray. I was like, oh no, these are too many letters. And then I didn't want my daughter to be the only black Vukovic. So that's why I kept my name.
That's a good answer
too many
right
questions
there.
anyway.
I would say, Your Honor, 400 years ago.
My grandfather
He
was
was asking a lot of questions, asking about
Papa Cough.
where'd you get your name from and why you didn't hyphenate it. That was a little
yes.
different. So
let's get to talking about these elections.
let's go ahead.
We got an election coming up today.
Can I start with something I had to do? Because
Yes.
if you weren't watching earlier, Miss Bryant, Miss Michelle Bryant, who
Yes.
tells everybody to go vote, realized she didn't know her voter location because she's been early voting for years.
Okay.
Since she moved. So she actually had to go look up this year because she didn't. But so everybody, if you need to know your status for voting, for registration, or where your voter location is, and we definitely say status because we've been kind of lax. We didn't have a heavy November election, or we didn't even have one here, did we?
And they purged. No, we didn't. And they purged people.
They've been purging folks from they've even purged some elected officials from the voter rolls. So you go to myvotewi.gov. That once again, it's myvote.
He taking all my talking points.
Oh,
So it's myvote.wi.gov.
no, myvotewi.gov.
No, it's myvote.wi.gov.
So I'm just going to tell you, when I typed in my phone, I just typed in myvotewi.gov and passed it to Michelle so she could see. So I got you.
Yeah, but that's the
But
way.
We want to
Gotcha.
we got a wonderful special guest coming on today, which we'll in case you don't come in, because we don't be telling, because we got people who be coming in and then not showing up, and then but we got a special guest. But we want to start off with having a conversation of why primaries are important. I know usually we come in and we talk with our the candidates, or we talk to our partners, but today this is something that we really need to get through and let people know that this is an election. And even though there's only a few things on the ballot, you are deciding who the two people that are going to be, especially in the city of Milwaukee, who are going to be the two people that you have a choice on the ballot for. Now there's three people. You can choose any of the three, which is Cavalier Johnson, Aisha Griffin, or David King. This is important. Huh?
Dr. David
Oh,
King.
I'm sorry, Dr. David King. We've had two of the three on, and we'll have, the mayor on again in the future, but you have to decide,
Your voice.
who are you going to want a choice in? Because right now you're not picking who you, not necessarily picking who the mayor is going to be. You're saying, who do I want to see on that ballot? Who's my first choice? And then the second most popular will get on too. So that means then they have to vie for that seat. But it is
Then you can
so
do more research.
then it's so important that you express your vote. This is the other part that I think is so important, is population matters, popularity matters. If you get enough people who think like you to vote, that's how you get things done. Now, don't be mad if you sitting around and you don't go out there and vote, and somebody who you didn't like gets in. And especially when sometimes it's one vote, two votes, three votes that make the whole difference.
Then we always talking about the lesser evil. Let's vote. We got to vote for the lesser evil.
But we want to stop that mentality.
Yes.
There's a couple of things that I really, at least with Wisconsin Voices, we're going to be trying to do. First, we're trying to engage year round, not just election year, not just right at the moment, not, oh, it's almost election time, let's go hurry up and do a GOTV, get out the vote type thing. We try to engage all year round,
Mhm.
even in the off year, which is considered just the April election. And then we have April, we have the fan, right? Fan, February, April,
Oh,
August, and November this year. Um, but you can get enough people who are like-minded like you to vote for a particular candidate that you all like, because there's two things politicians actually pay attention to: votes and money. If you give enough money, they're going to come to you, oh yeah, you can't, you gave me this money, and I'm going to come and say thank you. Not that they can't be bought, you can't buy their vote, but they're going to appreciate what you did for them. The second is whoever is voting the most. And if you have a big ward that vote comes out and vote, and all of a sudden you have an issue, I bet you 9 times out of 10 that elected official is going to say, well, let me see what they want. We have to do better. The phone lines are open: 414-444-5250. Latoya, I know you worked a lot with our previous policy director, Jamie,
mhm.
and she did a lot of election protection stuff. Just talk about what you did in the past, and some of the stuff that you saw that makes us really want to make sure that we're doing it right this cycle.
So, me and Jamie, we would have a strategy on election day. I would go out to polling places in the inner city of Milwaukee and count the votes from, say, like 9 in the morning, one ish, then after three, then after six, to see how popular are people, how many people are getting out to vote in each ward. And as we go into these polling locations, I was seeing some of them didn't even have a sign up to tell you it was a polling location, so people wouldn't even know that it's a polling location. Some places had purged people off the voters list, so when they came in with their IDs and stuff, they had a whole big process. They had to go back and get a whole bunch of other information, and to even vote. Then you had some people that got changed to another polling location, and they didn't send the information to their address, so they didn't know where their polling location was. You had some polling locations that were just totally intimidating, mean. You walk in the door and you just got this mean person standing in front of you, um, and hollering, basically snapping at you if you don't know how to walk in that door, go to where they want you to go and follow their directions. So that turned people away as well. I watched a lady just be like, forget it. Cause she really, to be honest with you, she looked like she wanted to hit the lady. But it's just it's just the truth. So it's important for us to really cast our vote and let our voices be heard, because that it's sad that you don't have signs up to even show people where the election.
There is I don't know where I heard this, so if somebody realizes that they said it, call us, say, yeah, I said that. But I heard it somewhere where um there is value in our vote. And if you're a criminal, or if you are a person trying to get something, you only want to get stuff of value.
Mhm.
You not gonna go go in a store and steal a feather. It has no value at
Right.
that particular time, and you could potentially go to jail for stealing, or get a ticket for stealing a feather. You only try to take or steal something that is of value. And our vote has been time and time tried taken away from us,
Hmm.
whether it was voting tax, or tests you needed to take, or whatever it is. It's always been tried to take away. Then they did the restrictions. You have to have an ID. Then they took away the drop boxes, so it's
Hmm.
it's less
Less
convenient.
convenient.
you know if it at the time, my mother, love Lenny Mae Gray, um my mother was, she had a knee issue, so she couldn't get out the house, and she had got her ballot a little late, so it wasn't enough time to put it in the mail to get it to her on time.
Hmm.
So she literally had to get up and struggle to turn it in. She couldn't even have my dad turn it in, because
Right.
you have to turn your own ballots into the place. So there are so many things, so many ways they try to stop our vote. Why are we letting them do it?
Just like another thing I thought about when you brought that up, Mika, polling locations are supposed to have somebody come out. They're supposed to have somebody come out if a person is disabled to their car. To And a lot of these polling locations are not even tracking that, not even coming out to see if a person needs them to come out and get their ballot and take it back in for them. Because you do have that right where if you're disabled, that someone can come out to your car and uh, bring your ballot, let you fill it out, and take it back in for you. And I've been finding out from a lot of different locations is little things that they do to make it hard for us to vote.
We just remember that all the information you need is on myvote.wisconsin.gov. If you put your address in, I wanted to test it out. I put my address in. It showed that where I live in Glendale, I don't have a primary. So it says your next election is April 2nd. If you have any questions, it gave me my municipality clerk. um it gave me where the ward I was supposed to be. So it is a plethora of information that you have on there.
Hmm.
Please, myvote.wi.gov. Now let's transition
Hmm.
to our special guest. This woman has created conversation across the nation. She is a plethora of knowledge. I love that word, so I keep using it. And I have asked her to come in and school us, because she has her own show, but sometimes somebody may not be able to hear her, and we really want to make sure that they hear it all. The talented driving challenged
All of this.
Michelle Bryant. Clap, 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 clap,
Can I
clap.
borrow your mic, bro?
Borrow the mic. Borrow the mic.
Wait, she don't have to borrow the mic. We're gonna give her a mic.
No. I just want to be respectful.
Oh no. We in your house. This kind of your house.
No, this your set. This your time. I just want to be respectful. What's happening, team? How y'all doing today?
Hey.
Look, my
I'm
man
so
had to
happy.
give me a seat. I appreciate you, babe, for letting me sit down. What's happening? What's going on?
We just appreciate you and the work that you have been doing. We are here and we're just new, but you've been doing trying to educate people to get out and vote and the worth of your vote for years. And you have had to fight tooth and nail just to get them to understand. But
I need Beyonce, man. I need the Beehive. When you talk about how you can galvanize and motivate people, I was just saying that this morning. When we decide it's something that we care about, we meaning people of color, communities of color, it's amazing what activate looks like. Like it happens just like that when we decide.
Okay,
So,
and I'm going to tell you this little thing. I am a total fan of Korean dramas, K-dramas.
Oh yeah.
And I love Korean boy band
K-pop.
type music, K-pop.
Yeah.
So there was this is how you know galvanizing people it can easily work. So there is a fight between Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion.
Megan Thee Stallion. Okay.
So all of a sudden the Nicki Minaj people were out there rah rah rah. Well, the BTS people have a way of loving Megan Thee Stallion because she has collaborated with them so much. All of a sudden the internet broke up. Wait a minute, you messing with her. And that's the whole BTS group just pummeled her. Why can't we do something like that when it comes
and the majority of
to
people don't vote? They
they arguing and spend days.
They're not involved in the process.
Days they spend on the fact that, and
What
I've
we care
watched
about.
all this stuff for hours. People are going Nicki versus Megan, all the back and forth arguing about it. And I was like, they won't even. And I shouldn't say they shouldn't, but they really need to pick up a.
And you're not gonna make the assumption that none of these people are voting.
I didn't say that.
But the data just indicates when you look at what our actual voter turnout is for the American populace, eligible voting age people, we fall woefully short of where we could be. We saw some of our numbers improve during the Obama race, and that was whether folks were coming out to stop him or to assist him. But yeah, we definitely, we don't ever hit like the 70% even mark for voting for the American population. And there are some countries, they have 80 and 90% voter turnout for the country, and it's like we fight to get everybody to show up. So it's a constant battle.
Yeah, some of those people in them countries kill candidates, like in Russia, just happened.
So we are on Wisconsin Voices, Be a Voice, WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. We will be right back. Welcome back to Wisconsin Voices Be a Voice, WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. Phone lines are open 414-444-5250.
Like I never say that. I need to work on that.
Well,
I never say that. And that day.
okay, but you
I
don't
never say that
have,
on my show. I need
but
to
you
work
know
on
what?
that. I
You
need
don't
help.
have chi. You don't have chi. Either texting you,
Oh, yeah.
you don't have chi.
Oh, well, see, I need that. I need chi
She
in my
probably
life.
on it. She probably
'Cause
on the
I
call
never-
right
it's so
now
much stuff I
saying,
never
"Y'all
do."
talking too much about me. Get on with it." Am I right?
Yes.
Straight from the back. That's
Right,
what I
he
need.
definitely
He probably
is.
saying, "Get back from the mic. Put your head closer to the mic."
Oh no, he tells us all that on the in the.
I
In the
got it.
text.
I like it. I like it.
We
Um,
definitely have to have our phones out.
Why he at you?
No,
You
she
are
has
a
the
guest.
Chi. Hold on, wait a minute. She has a Chi. She has a me.
Oh,
But this-
you do have a chi,
Not the
but you
same
can't
thing.
ignore
Not the
Keon
same-
like that. He
not the
feel
same
he
thing.
feels some kind of
And
way.
I'm sure she is
Oh,
probably
no,
saying
I
it
don't.
in a way that's supportive and encouraging, like, "Hey, T,
Oh, he does.
you know that."
No, that ain't cheap.
Ah.
No, wait. Let me tell
Right.
you. No, he'll
Yeah,
be like,
Michelle.
do this, do this, do this. It ain't none of that.
Still done in love.
So she'll be there saying, I can't take it
Well, one of the things we want to get back to this voting is people like I've heard many times, time and time again. I don't vote. It don't matter. My one vote. Like again, let's talk about the brother over in Wauwatosa who won by a provisional vote, not just one vote that came in. Somebody had to vote, go back home, get whatever they needed to make their vote valid, bring it back in to show them the proof, and that's how he won.
Yes.
One vote.
One vote
One exact
First
vote.
African American
in Wauwatosa.
common council member in Wauwatosa. One vote.
One vote.
Yeah.
We got some one. We don't got no. See, on your show, he like to give us little music in between, and, but he won't do that first. No, I'm not talking. I would never talk about you. So let's. One of the things voting does bring community together.
Yes.
Have you ever been mad at one of y'all elected officials?
All the time.
And y'all do whatever y'all can to get them out. Let's talk about that recall. When even though it didn't work, but when y'all galvanized recall for Scott Walker, everybody was trying to vote. Everybody wanted. That was because they were mad about something because of Act 10 or whatever it was. They galvanized. Now it didn't go the way they wanted it to, but there were people there. There were people talking about it, trying to come together. That's what we need to do in every election, making sure that we put the best representative of our communities in office and then monitoring them, watching them, see if they're doing what we want as a community.
Holding them
And
accountable.
if they don't, hold them accountable. If they don't, finding someone else that will do what the community says do what the community needs to do. But you also have to respect that they know information that you will never know. And if they can come out and explain to you, this is why I think this is, you may not agree with it, but you know that they have information and it's in the best interest. And that's why you're putting them in there. If it's not a majority, okay, this is 50-50. The city is, torn on this. You're putting them in to say, I'm going to make my best judgment and make decisions regarding your district, your city, your town, whatever it is.
Right.
Miss Michelle, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
In your small, short stint in this political world,
Yes.
what has it been, 20 plus years?
Yeah, we right at 20.
Right at 20, but you've
Yeah.
actually been in the thick
Oh,
of things for.
Yeah, I mean, like party stuff and just advocacy long
Yeah.
before, but officially working in the legislature and working on political campaigns about 20 years.
And so what is your take? What is your sense of why people don't want to vote?
I mean, you have folks that get clearly frustrated because the whole thing, a lot of people talk about even more so now we live in a microwave society. So everybody wants everything quick. And if I can't see immediate results, then I don't understand the value. But we also have the historical situation in which folks have said, candidates have knocked on the door, they've promised the world, and ultimately haven't either lived up to those promises, or people don't understand. And sometimes even the candidates themselves, particularly new candidates to the game, don't understand. You can go to the Wisconsin State Legislature to be one of 132. In the assembly, God help your soul, you won a 99. You 33 in the Senate. So you got to get all these other people on board, or a majority of these people on board, to make law, to make things happen. The process is interesting because it can be painfully slow when it's something you want. And you are amazed at how quick things can happen when it's the thing that you don't want to see happen. So I think that when folks don't see immediate results for what it is they are working for, that's what frustrates people. And then there are people, like they just did a special on MSNBC with Black men who were saying, we feel that our voices have been ignored, that we've been left out of these conversations. Black women are the most dependable electorate in the United States of America, period. And they're loyal to a fault. So a lot of stuff is done and catered to Black female voters, but you just have like different demographics who will say, if Hispanic and Latino men, were to step up and have this conversation, they would probably echo the sentiments of many Black men, that we're not being targeted, as it relates to the things that we care about in the community. So I think the fact that folks don't get a quick return on the investment of voting in a candidate is frustrating to a lot of people.
And it takes, and the thing is, sometimes I feel that we have a strategy. It's going to work, but because it wasn't, it's two things. It wasn't an immediate, result. They'll go back to the strategy from 6 years ago that worked at one time but haven't worked, and they just keep doing the same thing thinking that they're going to get a different result.
I mean, but you can say we have a strategy, but I've watched, working in then Senator Taylor's office, we reintroduced the same bills like 4 sessions in a row. That's 8 years, that you are at it, trying to get the anti-shackling bill done so that you don't put physical restraints on a pregnant woman, even during the birthing process. Like, that's a no-brainer. I remember when
they're gonna get up as they're getting ready to push a child out,
but
and
you
run.
a threat to security, and so they got you shackled while you're trying to give birth. When we did the legislation to try to make it illegal for police officers to have sexual contact with a person in their custody, because Wisconsin was one of 3 states that it was not illegal. And so this is a no-brainer. But we actually have police associations that did not want to sign, legislators to sign onto the bill. So even when it makes sense, even when you have a plan, even when the majority of lay people would be like, of course we're going to do that, you would be amazed at who will step forward to block a plan, and for the reasons that they block those plans. Most often it's about self-preservation. But and I think that, again, that's the thing that even new legislators find out coming into the building, the stuff that you go like, y'all got to be kidding me. We're not going to do something about reckless driving. We're not going to do something about gun violence. I mean, people go, I always remember Barack Obama talking about going to Sandy Hook. The photos that we will never see from that shooting, some of those kids were decapitated with the strength of the firearms that were used against them. There were legislators who physically walked through that building shortly after that murder. And everybody said, of course they're going to act now. Of course they're going to act. These were first graders.
And it did not happen.
Nothing changed. And so that's the thing when you talk about, I got a plan, but the things that can be waiting in the background to stop you, and in this case, to stop us from taking meaningful legislation to keep automatic weapons out of the hands of certain people, to do something as simple as, red flag laws, to make sure that we don't have bump stops where people can turn a weapon into an automatic weapon. I mean, just small things, but you got like us. And then this is the crazy part. The majority of people will agree with you. Even in the case of gun control or, responsible gun ownership, A number of conservatives are at the table. We agree. But you got the small minority in terms of the gun lobbies and their advocates that have been able to get control of legislators and keep this off the table.
And it's usually money and votes. Those are the things that actually matter. We are Wisconsin Voices. Be a Voice, WNOV, 860 AM, 105.6 FM. If you have a call, want to comment, 414-444-5250. Miss Michelle, I have it's one of the things that actually annoy me about our community, this community, is that we do care and we won't like physically do anything. We have so many opinions and good ideas, but we won't get up out of our chairs to go do something. I mean, and I'm not talking about everybody, because there are some people who work really hard and are all over the place. But I have had so many conversations where there is these brilliant ideas, these intellectuals that telling exactly what to do. And I was like, well, why won't you do it? Or why don't you, join a team? Oh no, they ain't gonna listen to me. No, we are listening. People are listening. That's why we have the partnerships we have as Wisconsin Voices. Oh, you like that plug? I pull it right back to Wisconsin Voices.
Good way to work it in.
We have a caller. Let me see what the caller has to say. Kia.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's on your mind, caller?
Mrs. Brewer. I'm trying to cut this thing down. Hey, how y'all doing this morning? Keon, Miss Michelle, Toya, and you, Miss Tamika.
What's up, Todd Stewart?
Y'all trying to give everybody. Yeah. You can't forget Joe.
Meeker.
Did you forget
That's
Joe?
That's what I call my stepdaughter. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
who's in the corner over there? Y'all just
Brian,
vanish to the corner.
Brian,
Man, you gotta say
we
what's
put,
up there.
We put baby
I
in
ain't
the
looking
corner
at
today.
no screen right now. But at any rate, I'm listening on the actual radio because the delay on the social media is slow, and I'll be trying to get stuff in real time. Neither here nor there. This is in real time. 1045, Ward 143. I'm number 5 at the polling location.
See,
Ew, that's tough.
Where's that location at?
21st, 21st Street School, Hadley. 21st. 21st and Hadley.
Me and Jamie would check on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gwen T. Jackson School.
Yeah. And you said 10:45. You're the 5th vote.
Yes, man.
And it opened up at 7.
Yeah.
Look, yeah, that's tough.
Thank you, Todd. We have to do better. We just have to do better. I'm wondering, one of the things that concern me, and Michelle, you can talk about it, is, well, first I want to go back to Michelle was talking about this different legislation that we want to do federally, statewide, but these elections on these ballots today are local elections. And I have heard so many people, why can't I get my recycling picked up every week? Why does it have to be every other week? This is the election. I mean, these are for these people that are going to help you. Why is there so many potholes? Right. These are this election. This is the mayor. These are the alder people. These are the elections that count for that quality of life every day. This is police, talking about police. You want more, you want less, whatever it is. These are these elections. This is not a state election. These are not federal elections. These are not going to, this is our local, how do we handle our own house kind of thing. Mm-hmm. This is when you should be speaking up. Speaking of that, Michelle, those new maps were signed into law, right?
Yes, Governor Evers on yesterday signed in new legislative districts or boundary lines. They have been met with cheers and consternation, depending on some of the camps that you talk to. But for the first time in 15 years, Democrats that, or I shouldn't say, I won't say it that way, given the kind of organization Wisconsin Voices, I'll say it this way. Given in the first time in 15 years, given the way the maps have been drawn to favor one political party over another, when you can have general elections that yield a 54% swing, let's just say, towards people that are more Democratic, but yet Republicans walk away with 2/3 of the seats of the legislature. For the first time in a long time, we have maps that give a better shot at reflecting the actual will of the people, a better shot at actually reflecting, how folks voted in these polling booths. But one of the things I was telling you in the break that people need to be conscientious of is while folks are celebrating, there were people that were not particularly happy because they were concerned about the impact to African American representation in the 4th Senate District. That's Senator Taylor's old district. Senator Taylor actually spent $12,000 of her own money in an amicus brief to go along with the lawsuit that was filed back in 2022. And so there are some concerns about the Voting Rights Act. There were, if just for transparency and truth, there were Democrats, only 2 Democrats that actually went along with the governor's maps. It was primarily put into place by Republicans who control the legislature, 2 Democrats, one in the Assembly, one in the Senate, and then the governor signed it. That's a crazy, you never see that happen, where you got all Republicans in the legislature and the Democratic governor coming together to get something through. So that was interesting in and of itself. But the other thing that people need to be aware of is that this is not the end of the conversation on redistricting. There's another group that is bringing forward a lawsuit to look at the congressional districts. We have 8 congressional districts in Wisconsin. Again, this is a 50-50 state. We are the same state that can elect Scott Walker and Barack Obama. Mm-hmm. Think about that. Mm-hmm. You could, we as a people, we could elect Scott Walker and Barack Obama. And so
we do Tony Evers and then Ron Johnson.
Exactly. Right. Good example. Right. And so we know that something is amiss in the way these district lines are set up. So now that they have gone in and determined that the legislative maps were unconstitutional, the congressional maps are also being viewed as unconstitutional. Mm-hmm. And there is, because how do you end up with 6 Republican controlled congressional seats and 2 democratically leaning seats if this is a 50-50 state? Right. Something's happening. And so that's the other thing for everyone to keep their eye on, is that there is another suit that's going to be in place. And right now, where there's pretty much been only one pathway for an African American to get into Congress, and that's been through the district that Congresswoman Gwen Moore now holds, there may be additional lanes that an African American person of color has a good shot at getting a congressional seat. Because right now it's pretty much you coming through. And I forgot, is Gwen's the 4th district, 4th congressional district? Mm-hmm. So you coming through one district right now.
So we have, we are gonna make Chi happy, and we're gonna take a little break. WNOV 860 AM 106.5 FM. If you have a comment, concern, 414-444-5250. Latoya, Joe, Michelle, Bryant, and Brian Sanders. We'll be back.
Get ready for a breath of fresh air with Community Heartbeat, your go-to show for health and wellness in our vibrant city. Tune in the last Friday of every month to join us on a journey toward a healthier Milwaukee. Community Heartbeat is not just a show, it's a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness. Call in during our live show the last Friday of every month from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Share your thoughts on social media using hashtag Community Heartbeat, and let's build a healthier Milwaukee together.
You are now listening to Wisconsin Voices, Be a Voice Radio.
I love me some Keon. Welcome back.
I love me some you.
Oh, he. Go ahead.
Coming in.
Isn't that Tony Braxton? Is that one of them Braxton girls?
Yes.
You messing up? Okay, I just want
Some-
to check.
Every morning you mess up somebody head.
I just want to check whose song you was tearing up.
But I heard you have a voice. You can sing. He be
Joe can
telling
sing
us.
now. See, listen. Did you hear it in the what? Do it
She threw
again.
Joe in there
Do it
quick.
again. Say, hit that high note.
Say what?
See? Joe ready?
That's the. Six weeks now.
What part of
and-
Ohio?
What's that?
What part of Ohio?
West Central, so in between Lima, Ohio, and Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
And we don't know where none of that is.
I know where Fort Wayne is.
Soybeans, corn, and cows.
Okay.
That's what we have there.
Dude, are you glad to be free?
I'll tell you, I tell these guys all the time that I feel really blessed to be part of this organization and be welcomed into the community of Milwaukee, and it's just been a wonderful experience thus far. So very happy to be here.
He had to take a chance because he had to move his whole body, soul, all the way here in a place that he didn't know.
Oh, this is you. Oh, you knew, completely
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
Okay.
He moved here. Like we offered him the position the day after Christmas. He was here January 8th, I think it was.
Mhm.
Okay.
It just was good timing, and he
Well, from one transplant to another, it's all right.
you ain't no transplant now.
I am a transplant. I will always be a transplant.
Okay, let me see. You've been here
I'm a hoe.
92 years, and
Damn.
now you gonna
Oh,
say
it's coming.
transplant.
You see?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna stop talking about it because people. That's why people who there are people like Michelle who is brilliant and just I love listening to her work and just breaking it down for the layman like myself. Sometimes I don't understand some of the language, but then again she can't drive. But everybody can't be perfect.
Oh man,
You know that dude?
Is she coming for the late day? Okay. All right.
She got stuck in the snow in the Jeep.
Oh yeah,
The Wrangler.
I know, and she could have. I don't know what she could have did, but she got those big, thick tires on there.
She got 4x4.
Roll over the car.
Really?
Yes.
You want in on that too? Okay.
And then I tried to help her out and tell her to get a Nissan, but she already had one.
No, she got the better truck.
I'm just
No,
feeling
I'm just
like
saying.
the voice of Wisconsin is not speaking right now.
I know, because we're Wisconsin voices.
Oh, I feel like some voices is.
No, we are throwing all
Janky
kind
up
of
in
love. We really appreciate you. If you have any calls, concerns, 414-444-5250.
Y'all calm down today after Aisha Griffin was on.
You know what?
I'm just saying.
Now, Michelle, how did you feel about
I
that?
heard it was wild and loose up in here.
No, we have just given all the candidates a platform
boy.
to express who they are and what they believe.
I mean, I heard that part too.
And I just had to do the disclosure.
But I heard that the theme music Wild and Loose was playing in the background.
Hey, Michelle, do you know how many times she had to say, this is not
disclaimer.
Disclaimer of Wisconsin.
No, it was just a
But
joke.
but that's the great part about a democracy. I think
Right.
about like what has happened in Russia with
Yeah.
the murder or assassination of Navalny, and one of the folks that was most willing to challenge Vladimir Putin for his seat for the presidency. And these are things we take for granted. But that Aisha Griffin, who is actually running in 4 different races right
possibly 5, depending.
The county
Yep.
executive, mayor, aldermanic,
2
aldermanic
Yep.
districts. But that's the beauty of our system, is that you can be anyone who, long as you meet those basic criteria, which is almost just to be breathing these days, and you can run for public office. And you get to weigh in. You get to take the barbershop conversations, what y'all talk about at the family reunion, what you're talking about at the house, and actually go out and say, I want to change it. I want to be a part of it. And so not just the voting, but I get to actually be the person at the table making those decisions. And we have an amazing system here.
And that is when you decide, do I want her to represent me? Do I want Chevy Cavalier to represent me? Do I want David King to represent me? That is when you can make a choice. So knowing everybody, or Dr. David King, sorry. Whatever we have or we do, that is, y'all, let's take our caller. They acting. They caller. What you got for us?
Hey, hello, y'all.
Hey, what's happening?
Happy voting day.
I know that's
right. I know that's right.
Hey, I want to call and thank the whole sister. I didn't get your name.
Me, Tamika?
Tamika? Tamika. Beautiful, beautiful name, Tamika. Yesterday I was listening to your interview with Miss Griffin. Yeah, you know what? I go way back with her to some protest with her sister. Okay? Y'all remember her sister was locked up?
No, refresh us.
Yeah, Aisha Griffin got in the political protest game when her sister was locked up, and her sister went on a hunger strike, and she was afraid that they was trying to poison her to jail. And we was just trying to, when she stopped eating, Sheriff Clark wouldn't let her go to the hospital. So we went down there to make that happen. But I'm just saying, I'm just bringing that up because, I'm familiar with her, but I know she's unpolished, but she has a lot of political knowledge. And I just want to thank you for that interview yesterday, because I was going to sit this one out because I am not a Cavalier fan. Never have been a fan of the mayor. Okay. Now I acknowledge that, yes, he's done some great things downtown. All right. And so I was listening to that sister talk, and I'm like, you know what? She is probably the only hope that the community, the neighborhood, the hood has any positive influence or injection of commerce and activities for our youth. She is probably the only person on that damn mayoral ballot who at least has expressed an interest in us. So, having said that, at 12:15, I'm headed to my polling place to vote for Aisha.
Well, we're not, and that's how we do our democracy. We figure out who we think is the best representative. By the way, the views the views of our guests is not necessarily the views of WNOV, Wisconsin Voices, or our staff.
But I mean, he makes a perfect,
makes a valid point.
What I said, that you literally, if you are passionate about service, if you are passionate about wanting to see change, if there are things that you believe should be happening, and I tell people, when you look, particularly in communities of color, the biggest gains we've made as a people have been out of exercising our right to vote. Now, that's why people are attacking those very things. Mm-hmm. So when you talk about the Voting Rights Act of 1965, affirmative action, women's reproductive health, Brown v. Board of Education, all of those things happened because of voting. Mm-hmm. And, and so like we said, if it didn't matter, people wouldn't work so hard to try to take it from you.
Yo, say that again.
If it doesn't have a value,
if
it doesn't have a value, you don't want it. If it has value, that's when you try to take it. That's when you want to own it. That's when you want to get it.
Right.
Yeah, but we got to be able to let those voices. And I'm gonna tell you, it's something, because even when the caller said Aisha is unpolished, it depends on what we talk about in terms of polish, because people have tried to define what your behavior and mannerism should be, and for the folks that are just raw, I ain't gonna give it to you straight, no chaser, and may even be, and because the thing that's crazy is that Donald Trump can do this foolishness all day, and it's amazing. Somebody else do a particular person of color, and it's unacceptable. We have to define as communities what we want to see in leaders. And a lot of us, we go along to get along. This is the status quo. I can't support this person because I know, the way they come off, nobody else is going to come and support him. And is it a wasted vote? But I like what the brother said about he had made, at first he wasn't going to participate because he didn't think he had a voice at the table. He heard Aisha. He decided that she said something that was palatable to him, and that he was going to go ahead and vote. Now, even if the data says this young lady probably won't win, people still pay attention to the dissenting votes.
Yes.
We talk about undercounts,
right.
The number of people that go to the polls and there are 5 things on their ballot. And in this particular race, as I did in a high profile race not that long ago, I said, I'm not voting in that race because I don't like my choices. I'm voting in the other, races on the ballot that day. So people pay attention, and hopefully it informs you. It informs you as the person who does get elected. You understand everybody wasn't riding with you, and I might need to do a couple things differently.
And the one thing is, you can look at this race in the mayoral race. The mayor should win heavily. If he doesn't, he has an issue that he needs to work on.
But you need to say why.
To listen to the people.
But you need to say why you think that the mayor would win. And I mean, because number one, incumbency is
right.
Always
That's
huge.
what I'm talking about. Incumbency.
Number 2, the amount of financial resources that he has.
Exactly.
These people that are in grassroots, they don't have a ton of money. They're self-financing their own campaigns. There is no machine.
Right.
There is no consulting agency out to do their bidding. There's no mailers. There's no machine. So helping people understand why you make that comment becomes critical. And that's the thing that keeps a lot of everyday people out of these races, because you understand what you're about to be up against. So the data says that, he should handedly win this race.
If he doesn't, or it's quite a bit, 20-30% that doesn't go that route, then he has to think. I mean, even if it's that big, he has to think a little bit about what. I just think he needs to think. I can't tell him what he needs to think, but that means that there are quite a few people who are not pleased. What can I do to change my image, or what am I missing? Yeah. There is so much that happens over a course of a election. We have to all decide who we are going to vote for. We just got a text. Someone was number 13 at Vincent High School, and that's a pretty
at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, at 12 o'clock, number 13. We gotta
get up and use our voices.
And that's my polling location. I just found out this morning.
Well, so we will be back later on, sometime today, because Michelle will be doing the
Election Central from 3 to 8 p.m.
And we'll come back over here to see what she's doing, and
please
mess with her. We gotta mess with her. This is Wisconsin Voices. Be a Voice, 860 AM, 106.5 AM.
The polling locations is open to 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Make sure you get out there and vote till 8 p.m.
Joe said get out there and vote.
Yep, let's get the numbers up.
Thank you. See you.